If you don't live with Quincy, you'll never escape this poverty. He has one of those big houses with the open floor plan and the paintings that are part of the wall.
I do not care, Father. He could have every precious stone in the world, and it wouldn't be the same as living here with you.
Be for real, Lucas. Look around this place. Are you not tired of the cold, the hunger, the rats?
The rats are my friends, and you are my father. I do not need riches to be happy.
Well, fine. You leave me no choice. No son of mine will be friends with the rats. This isn't a joke, Lucas. This is your life. If you do not go and live with Quincy, I will disinherit you and you will have nothing.
You know what? Fine. You do not have a leg to stand on. I'm taking you to court. And I know a really good Legally Blonde lawyer.
Fine then. But maybe we should carpool? You know, because in the newspaper they were talking about that volcano erupting in a couple hundred years.
Yeah, just like, for the environment and stuff.
Yeah, good call.
The Man Who Must Adopt.
Well, I heard that the sun is just being super ungrateful.
Where did you even hear that?
TMZ, Fox News, it's on all the front pages. It's a really politicized issue.
You know, if you put this amount of effort into your schooling and oratory, you would basically be Cicero.
I literally read the De Inventione. Wait, there they are.
I'm glad we carpooled. I feel really good about that.
You know, back in my day, we didn't have all these female politicians.
You're making it so hard to be honorable.
I'm just saying.
Ah, what a wonderful day for democracy. And another disinheritance case. I'm sure this is no indication of the negative effects of the current laws in place. So, looks like the son didn't listen to his dad again, and the father Marcus wanted his son Lucas to be adopted by our equivalent of Jeff Bezos.
Part 1. The Exordium. In the honorable case, Cicero talks about winning the 4 quarters of goodwill, from the self, the opponent, the jury, and the case. To do this, he encourages the rhetor to refer to his own acts of service, bring opponents into contempt, give an account of acts with themes of courage, and show the importance of the topic at hand.
My client, according to his father, is a walking contradiction in terms. He is, at the same time, worthy of adoption and deserving of disinheritance.
You know what? Good point.
The prosecution will tell you that Marcus, Lucas's father, knows best, that this is born out of love. But today, I will argue that this disinheritance is unwise, undeserved, and undesired. Unwise because the disinheritance and adoption is no guarantee of a better life. Undeserved because the son has done nothing to incur the ire of his birth father. In fact, he's been a most obedient and honorable heir. And undesired because the son values the love of and connection to his family more deeply than any riches a rich man could provide.
Wow, this is really making me wish my dad didn't disinherit me.
Well, at least we have each other. I wish my dad was here today to see this display of oratory and honor.
This case is of importance not just for my client and his future, but also for all who wish to see the sanctity and legitimacy of Roman inheritance preserved.
This lawyer is kind of an anarchist.
Well, I'll ask if she has a manifesto after the trial.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying this whole time. She has such a way with words.
Oh, so now you're mad at me I couldn't send you to college.
Well, that was kind of a great exordium, I'm convinced.
No, what are you doing? There's still way more. There's still 4 more parts. She has to give the narration now.
The story is in the details.
Part 2. The Narration. According to Cicero's De Inventione, the narration is the part of the speech that is the exposition of events that have occurred or are supposed to have occurred. For a narration to be effective, it should possess 3 qualities: brevity, clarity, and plausibility. It will be brief if it begins with what needs to be said and is, quote, not carried back to the most remote events, end quote. There are 3 kinds of narrations, with the first of the 3 types applying to this case, which contains just the case and the whole reason for the dispute.
My client, Lucas, the son of an impoverished man, stands here punished for a crime that bears no ill will. He simply loves his father. Quincy, a rich man, wants to adopt Lucas, and given the poor financial situation Marcus and Lucas have endured their entire lives, Marcus agreed to give his son up for adoption. Yet Lucas refused, and Marcus subsequently disinherited our client for transgressing against him and disobeying his orders, a right reserved to parental figures. But Lucas's reasoning for turning against his father was motivated by the desire to stay his son and to continue to be in his father's life as he has been up until this point. Further, Lucas could not trust Quincy. On paper, he is a rich man, and his status offers Lucas the chance to abandon his poor livelihood in favor of one of financial security. In actuality, Quincy offers Lucas nothing but false promises and the eventuality of ruining him. This is not the only time Quincy has adopted children. He's done it 3 times hence, but his adoption streak is a sour one. One by one, each time Quincy takes a chance to adopt a poor citizen, he disinherits him. He did so not once, not twice, but 3 consecutive times, all to fine and upstanding Roman citizens. What's to stop him from doing this once more to Lucas? Quincy's habitual attitude of masquerading as a rich savior falls flat in his continual disinheritance to those he claimed to help, and Lucas knows this.
That is so sad. Those 3 must be so poor. They can't even afford a cappuccino at Medici.
He backed out. He knew in accepting his fate, he would lose his father, the only thing he's ever really had since money was never consistent in his household, only to then lose the money he was promised through Quincy. He knew he would lose it all, and he could not lose his actual father. But Marcus knew this was Lucas's only chance to escape the cycle of poverty, and upon being disobeyed, despite it arising from love and not hatred or bitterness, Marcus disinherited his son himself to incentivize Lucas to reconsider.
Exactly. I'm doing this for you.
Marcus is well-intentioned but misguided in his approach to disinheriting his son. What's on trial right now is not a disobedient son raging against his father to seek some sort of inheritance, little as it could be with their finances. It's the son's happiness. It's his bond with his father, since clearly Lucas is an upstanding man if he puts his relationship with his father above any chance at earthly riches. Further, his selflessness and devotion speak to his character. Therefore, he cannot be both disinheritable and worthy of adoption at the same time.
Part 3, the partition. Cicero's De Inventione outlines the framework for 2 different types of partition. The first details the points of agreement and disagreement in the case in a way that is advantageous to the speaker. The second is less argumentative, merely stating the points which will be discussed over the course of the speech.
What this case comes down to is the miscommunication of love between a father and son.
OMG.
This is so sad.
A father's love that is well-intentioned but misguided, and a son who wants nothing more than his father's love. The son recognizes that his father is disinheriting him out of love, out of the belief that allowing him the opportunity to be adopted by a rich man will bring him a better life. But this is not what the son wants or needs.
So true.
Obviously, we agree that the father should do what he believes best for his son.
So true.
But the son disagrees that this disinheritance is what's best for him. To the son, the love of his father is of far greater value than the material wealth of a rich man. He said it best with the following words: "This is the sole dispute between us. He thinks I deserve a rich father. I think I deserve my own."
Bars.
I'm becoming convinced.
Part 4, the confirmation. Cicero argues that a person's character is a useful argumentative tool in explaining or framing their actions. In section 1.35 of the De Inventione, Cicero argues that juries should consider who raised the client, in what tradition and under whose direction, and what is the character of his home life, and encourages its usage as evidence for or against a given person.
How many more parts do we have left?
3, confirmation, refutation, and peroration.
3 more parts? What more could they have to say?
Shh, we gotta listen to find out. Confirmation's up next.
Lucas was raised under difficult circumstances, to say the least. He remembers the cold nights when he and Marcus could not afford both food to eat and wood to keep warm, but not because of the pain he endured. Instead, he remembers his father's warm and comforting words, telling him to give thanks that they at least had each other, and give thanks he did. Lucas was raised to be grateful for the love he had, not to desire material gain. He values his family and knows money is fleeting in its ability to provide happiness. Being raised this way, how could we expect him to exchange his bond with his father for riches? How can Marcus expect his son to be happy, forcing him into an empty life of affluence after raising him to reject greed? The simple truth is that Lucas would not be happy had he followed his father's wishes to be adopted. He would have been miserable, living a life without the one person he's ever truly loved.
Is that true, son? You wouldn't be happy living with Quincy, even if he could offer you way more than I ever could?
You offer me everything I need just by being my dad.
Oh, shucks.
He must really love his dad if he's willing to be all cold and miserable and stuff.
Shut up, the confirmation's not over yet.
Further, we cannot punish Lucas for simply living by the values his father taught him. Our client has committed no crime other than fulfilling his duty as a son to lead an honorable and humble life. Lucas has done nothing to deserve disinheritance and would be devastated to lose his familial and social ties. Not only is this undesirable for Lucas, but it's also undesirable for Marcus. He loves his son and knows that disinheriting him means losing him, but he fears that not doing so would prevent an opportunity for Lucas to escape poverty. Marcus has made this awful decision to disinherit his son, not because he wants to, he feels obligated to. By not allowing the disinheritance, we save Lucas from a life without his family and save Marcus from enduring the loss of his son.
I must admit, I would be quite lonely without my son.
Part 5, the refutation. There are 4 ways to refute the opponent's argument. Deny the assumptions they make, accept the assumption but deny that a certain conclusion follows, show the form of their argument is fallacious, or meet their argument with a stronger one. One can deny a simple conclusion made by showing the consequence does not seem to be necessarily consistent with what precedes.
Marcus, you say that you do this thing for your son out of love, but the loss of family is worth the riches of another man's house. You say that it is your duty as a father to make his life as good as it can be, to give him more than you yourself had, but you cannot make this paternal desire come to fruition through this alone. For one, this man whom you purport to give him to has disinherited 3 sons in the past, each fine and upstanding men in their own right. What flaw of my client's will he choose as the basis of his disinheritance? What small, slight, or mistaken moment of discontent will send this greedy lord into a fury and end up with Lucas tossed out on the street, discarded with less than he had before? I fear that his fate is to be orphaned twice over. And even if you are right, that the rich man will love and cherish him, have you no thought for the corrupting power that comes with wealth and opulence?
That is so Marxist.
What is Marxist?
The life you have given him meets all of his needs and is much to his satisfaction. My client has no desire to sit among the well-decorated tables of lords and ladies and speak ill of those who they find lesser than themselves. He wishes to be with his family, whom he loves, to care for you when you are old, to give your grandchildren to sit upon your knees, as he once did.
Well, golly gee, I never thought of it like that.
Do not send him off for wealth ill-promised and deny you both these things. It is a foolish gamble that costs this rich man nothing and hurts you all.
Part 6, the peroration. The peroration should be presented in 3 parts, including a quick summary of the case and argument, inciting of anger against the opponent, and eliciting pity for the client.
Everyone here has been moved to tears, but we're not done just yet. We must listen to the peroration.
I know. Why are you treating me like an idiot?
How can we look at Lucas and know so much about his grand character, saying that this fine boy is worthy of adoption by one of the richest men in Rome, yet unworthy of the measly inheritance offered by his own father? The prize we believe he is gaining from losing a father does not even amount to the pain it will cause Lucas.
I tried.
No amount of wealth can equal the loss of family and security. Marcus has instilled these values in his son, but now he turns a blind eye to them, believing that the wealth and all its corrupting powers will create a better life for his son.
I am so full of values. Thank you, Dad.
My client deserves not to lose his father for being a dedicated son. He should be venerated for his allegiance to him and his father's finite wealth. We cannot expect the son to go so easily to a certain fate in which wealth is not even secured and love is not plentiful. Lucas has been nothing but loyal. How do we know his character will live up to the standards of the rich man? There can be nothing worse for my client than losing his whole world, his father.
Son, although my intentions were pure, I see now the foolishness of my attempt to disinherit you. Your lawyer was right. I don't even want to disinherit you. You're my son. Of course I don't want to lose you.
And I don't want to lose you.
I see that now. You won't have to go with Quincy. You can have your inheritance back.
Father, thank you. High
Up
five.
top.
Yeah.
Then I guess we're done here.
You wanna grab dinner?
Sounds like fun. Can you pay?
Oh.
I mean, I'm happy Lucas got his inheritance and all, but what was like even the point of us being here?
Hey, I've learned a lot.
Wait. What did I miss? Hey, guys, hello? Anybody? It's me. It's Quincy. I'm here. Where's that new son of mine? Boy, oh boy, where is he? I can't wait to see the disappointment on his face when I disinherit him. Ha 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 ha.